I came to Edmonton.
And you started job hunting here? Or did you start job?
I started, it wasn't a question, I didn't need to hunt. I got something right away. But the problem was somewhere to stay. That was what, there was a lot of, well, I don't want to call it what it is, but
Please do.
yeah, you could not, I was in the West End, and so I lived just a little bit over from where the mall is, because the mall wasn't there yet. It was a big pasture there. So the last place you could get a bus from was, what's the name of the mall right up there?
West
No,
Edmonton.
no, Western Mall did not exist.
Right.
Further east, just off 87th Avenue.
Meadowlark?
Yeah, Meadowlark Mall. That's where the bus stopped, regular routes. And so there was nothing on the weekend, and nothing after 6. So first I had to get a car. It was no problem getting a job. I worked at the Misericordia. One, I had a child. What else? Was studying. I was going to school and working 2 jobs.
2 jobs to survive?
Yes, I needed the money from both of them because I had to have a car, I had to buy something, and that's what the problem was. Because you can't rent, you have to buy.
So you
Because
said
nobody would rent your house if you had a child. And if double jeopardy, now you have a child, you're a woman, and you're black. So you walk up and down 87th Avenue, and all the apartments that are on there were there then, and they would advertise it in the paper, in the Journal or wherever, the West End or whatever it was, and you would call, okay, come and see it, and when they saw you, the apartment was taken. I didn't realize how prevalent that was at the time because I'm not concentrating on prejudice or anything like that. I didn't think I was different to that extent because I had never been treated that way until Edmonton. Never. So when I came to Edmonton and couldn't find a place, I had to buy a condo. So now you're committed now because all the time I have been in Canada, I always walk with my passport because
Why?
I think anytime I don't like it, I will go home. That was my MO.
Mm-hmm.
So I always had, it didn't bother me. But after I got into school, I am working, I have a car, you have commitments, I have a daughter. I never lived in Meadowlark because they wouldn't rent me an apartment in Meadowlark.
Well, so where did you buy
But I lived in Belmead, further on, where, there was Meadowlark and there was the mall place, but it was just this big morass. It was like a little, what do you call it? Swamp place next to the Miz. And I lived the other side of 178th Street. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So
But, it was our stomping ground. Like, in the complex we lived, there were a few, there was our complex across from that Catholic school. Isn't that terrible? Just across 178th Street there. My daughter went there forever. Not Good Shepherd. Anyway, we lived across there. And next to us was a Edmonton housing project. So there were people there, had a rough time. They had a rough time. The people who were not educated,
Who had a rough time?
the black people there that I knew,
Okay.
everybody there had a rough time because they were all on, so welfare and have children. The bus was difficult. The bus only ran, what they call it, high times. There's a rush hour, and then nothing on Saturday and Sunday. So those people were limited. If you didn't drive, heck, gas was cheap, but you don't have nothing to put the gas in. So
You mentioned a couple of times bus service, and that's always been something that has been about how difficult it is to get from the West End downtown. And you've mentioned that. Was that because you'd have to go downtown for some things?
yes, and it wasn't just downtown, it was Jasper Avenue you had to go, because it was you took I took my orientation, to orient myself based on Jasper Avenue, so I knew I was going in the right direction depending on how the streets were increasing. So it was always Jasper Avenue I had to go to. So immigration concerns, traveling concerns, everything was downtown. But I had to get a car. I had no choice. When you work shift, you can imagine minus 40 at the Miz, and I'm never mind. Yeah. But the one street was 87th Avenue, really, because 178 didn't come right through. It stopped at Stony Plain.
Right.
Yeah, 100 Avenue there.
Got you.
Yeah, by the Sandman Inn. Yeah, yeah. So Edmonton, one thing that was very nice about here was that the pool in Jasper Place pool. It's now a big complex, and they got this high school and everything. But at the beginning, it was basically just the pool and Jasper Place High School. Is that what they call it? JPS. Yeah, that was it. But the pool was always very welcome. That's where my daughter went to learn to swim. My mother would take her on the bus whilst I was working, and things like that.